Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy P Lot, aka the Brick Slinker, and guess what? Your boy got something to say. I know probably some of y'all probably familiar with the whole fresh and fit situation dealing with a video clip that was on the Shade Room where they basically was like, they don't date the Shaniquas and they don't dabble with the Browns and this, that, and the third, which put people to believe and think that they hate black women or they don't date black women and all this other stuff. And before that, there was an issue with Myron and Asian Doll, who y'all probably know is a well known female rapper who's also was with King Von, rest in peace. And a lot of people are getting at them because, well, people believe that they don't like black women, but or they prefer not to date black women. But here's my thing: uh, preference is preference until it becomes a problem. What I mean by that is like this: anybody can have their own preference of who they want to date. There's there's no there's no issue with who people want to date or who people prefer to date, whether they want to date black women, even though they are white men, or black men they want to date black women, and this, that, and the third. Oh, it don't matter what's your preference. What makes it a problem is when you're acknowledging what you prefer and demolishing what you least prefer. If anything, check this out. Like Fresh and Fit has been on a struggling decline, a struggling rise the second half of last year with their issue with Abba and Preach, Kevin Samuels, and a couple other previous guests that partaked in in a show, as well as other podcasts, uh, bloggers that have an issue with Fresh and Fit. And unfortunately, this issue kind of makes things a little bit more difficult for them due to the fact that they're losing subscribers due to a lot from the issue they have with Alba and Preach, with the issue they have with Kevin Samuel, with the issue with a couple of female guests and other stuff. However, back to what I'm speaking on. What makes it a problem is the fact that people have an issue with the stereotypical preference. I can hear uh, people trying to make it seem as if since these quote unquote black men, even though me, they're I don't, I don't even go that far and say that they're not even quote unquote African Americans per se, because truth be told, by technicality, they are due to where their parents come from and all that stuff. But like I said, not going to get into much detail on that. But the issue is that their preference, it came out as a stereotype, which will give people to believe that they hate black women because they bring up the name like Shaniqua or Keisha. You know what I'm saying? And when they say stuff like dabble with the dark or dabble with the brown and all that stuff, it's like it's so easy to it's it's now becoming too easy to trigger folks with stereotype words, stereotype titles. It's now becoming so easy to the point where it's like, oh, you don't like black people, you don't like black women because you don't date black women and it all that other stuff, and it's not even. it's really should not even have to go that far. It's wrong for them to mention the stereotype, but it's also wrong on people that's receiving it and trying to make it into something that is practically not. If that's their choice, then that's their choice. However, they're wrong. Their wrong is the fact that they have a show and they have varieties of women in their show, and some of them are black. And even though they're not dating these black women, they have them on the show to have these dope, uncomfortable conversations dealing with dating and also with marriage. But if they choose not to date black women, or they choose to not prefer black women in their dating pool or their dating choice, by all means, go for it. But the problem is, it's become an issue when someone takes a piece of a video and try to make a propaganda. If it was easy for those people to do Birth of a Nation way back in the 20th century after slavery, if it was easy for Hitler to do such thing when it came to the Jews and other people that was also involved in the Holocaust, if it was if it was easy for, we can probably name a few more stuff. I probably don't have it in my head right now, but we can think of a lot of ways to take a clip of something and make a big deal out of it, and not many people take the time to go back and be like, wait a minute, this clip says something, but this whole video does not match the propaganda. What's going on here? Nobody's really taking the time to really go back and be like, hey, this is what he really mean by that. This is what he means. This is what Fresh means when he said that. This is what Myron said when he means this. Nobody's going to be taking the time to do that. Why? Because a 10-second, 20-second, 30-second clip has already got folks' attention and make folks want to believe that this is the case. Look, when it's all said and done, I wanna take it to the point where I wanna say, like, we're all made in God's image and this, that, and third. Because it's easy to say that. It's easy to say we all made in God's image and we all this and that and the third. And no, if anything, we're all made in God's image, but we also made in His likeness. So if we have an identity crisis, we also have a character crisis. But if it's linked up to what I'm about to say, what I'm talking about, then cool. If not, please forgive me. I'll probably speak on that some other time. But other than that, our preference has always been put on microscope. As black men, as a black man, I've definitely put myself in a position where I said I love black women even when black women hates me. And that's before I got married. I always said that. And it's not that I didn't like white women. It's not like I didn't want a Mexican or Italian, Latin, whatever the case may be. What was my preference was my preference. Now, here's the thing. What Myron and Fresh said and what many people will want to believe, because I know many people will be like, well, if we're going to get at Myron and Fresh and Fit for saying this stuff, why won't we do Kevin Samuel the same way? Probably because they're not driving the same vehicle. They're not even on the same lane. They may be in the same highway, but they're not on the same lane. They're not even on the same vehicle. They may speak on certain things that is similar. They may talk about stuff that's similar, but truth be told, they're not on the same road. They're not doing the same thing, to a degree. And many people will be like, well, he hate black women too, and this, that, and the third. It's like, if you ever get a chance to check out the videos of Candace Samuels, if you ever get a chance to check out the videos of Fresh and Fit and many other um, videos from the manosphere, you'll find out that it's not that they don't like black women. The issue is preference. Because black men have preference, black women have preference, white men have preference, white women have preference. We can go down the list of every race on this earth. Every last one of them have a preference. Some preference are within the race, some preferences outside the race. But at the end of the day, what makes it an issue is when what is highly recommended and what is not highly recommended. That's the issue. When I attack my least preferred women because of a stereotype that puts a whole lot of women in that particular race, in that whole category. And I believe that that's what folks try to use that clip for. It's by saying, or matter of fact, with any men that prefer not dating black women, it makes people want to believe that these folks hate black women so much that they even take it further and be like, well, if they hate black women like that, man, they hate their mama, or they hate their sister, their auntie, their grandmama, and all that stuff. It's not even, should not even get to that point, unless they want to go deeper than that. But it's easy for a black man to just deal with that because we basically been embedded into loving our own sisters. But the problem is returning the favor is the question. And that's what probably will lead to this conversation. It's like it's best for us to have uncomfortable conversation with each other of different gender for each other to understand this is the case. This is the reason. This is why this is the case. Here's the problem. Now let's get with the solution. Like, let's acknowledge the problem, then let's go for a future. And if this is the case, if this is what it's going to take, then by all means. But we need to have these uncomfortable conversations where we don't shoot before, you know what I'm saying, shoot the gun before loading it. You know what I'm saying? We need to understand why these guys and guys like them prefer not dating black women. And at the same time, we need to understand, if we want to, we should have a strong understanding of why black women don't want to prefer black men. Like, I'm not 100% all into the pro-black this and pro-black that. And I'm not all the way into I'm black y'all, I'm black y'all, I'm blackity black and I'm black y'all. I'm like, no. As much as I love black people and because I'm black and this, that, and third, there should not be a limitation of who we love or who we attracted to. However, if we can respect each other enough to disagree, and as opposed to bashing each other just because of a preference, of a particular preference, then maybe we can have a stronger chance of having a society where we can have a strong choice. And like I say, disagree. Let's disagree. But let's be respectful. But you know what? That's just me, man. If you like the video, there's a like button. Like button. There's also a dislike button if you don't like it. So, comment, please. Comment. Let's continue the conversation. Please disagree, but don't be disrespectful. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Share this video. Let's continue the conversation. And who knows, we may be able to do it live. So until then, it's your boy P-Lot, aka the Brick Slinger. And as always, continue to sharpen one another. Support the kingdom. Take care and God bless. Laborers.